Johnston again gets it away. The United States of America are the 2015 World Cup winners. Carly Lloyd with a hat-trick, Lauren Holiday and Tobin Heath with the other goals. Japan scored twice through Ojimi and a Julie Johnston own goal, but there was no stopping the United States of America after they had scored 4 early goals.
The United States women's national team won their third World Cup in July of 2015 after defeating Japan by a score of 5-2. Months after the third World Cup victory, multiple members of the team filed a federal equal pay complaint about the unequal pay distribution between the women's national team and the men's national team. Each member of the women's team were paid thousands of dollars less than the men's team at every level of competition.
You don't just wake up one morning and say we're going to file a complaint with the EEOC and point a finger at U.S. soccer. This has been simmering for a while, but why does it come to a head now?
I think the timing is right. I think that we've proven our worth over the years. Just coming off of a World Cup win, and the pay disparity between the men and women is just too large, and we want to continue to fight. The generation of players before us fought, and now it's our job to keep on fighting.
In March of 2019, the U.S. women's soccer team filed a gender discrimination lawsuit against U.S. Soccer, claiming that they had been systematically underpaid for years in comparison to the men's team, despite being the far more successful team. The lawsuit initially asked for nearly $67 million in payback and compensation revenue.
For the 4th time, the United States of America are crowned champions of the world, and for the very first time they've done it on European soil. It is finished at the Stade de Lyon in the final, in victory and joy for the United States.
In July of 2019, the women won their 4th World Cup title, and their push for equal pay began to receive more national attention. In May of 2020, a United States district judge in California rejected the notion that the women's team had been underpaid in comparison to the men. The judge also ruled that the additional claims of unequal treatment in terms of travel, medical staff, and training equipment could proceed forward. The judge dismissed the players' notion because the men's and women's contracts had been structured differently.
Let's start first as a former national team player and just your reaction to the ruling.
Surprised, of course. I mean, as a player that has fought for, in our day, it was equitable pay. Now it's equal pay. Frustrated by the ruling.
In July of 2020, several of the women's players filed an appeal saying that the judge should not take into account the rates of pay and the fact that the women had to win more often than the men in order to receive bonuses. The United States women's soccer team was one of only 7 nations to appear in every World Cup. They reached 3 consecutive World Cup finals in 2011, 2015, and 2019, and most recently winning in 2019. Finally, in February 2022, the women's national team players reached a $24 million settlement with U.S. Soccer, which agreed to pay the men and the women's team at an equal rate moving forward. The agreement included $22 million for the 28 players who filed the initial lawsuit and established a $2 million charitable fund for women's and girls' soccer. The $22 million will be distributed among the players in a way that is approved by the court. The United States Soccer Federation also promised to provide an equal rate of pay between the men's and women's national teams in all friendlies and tournaments, including the World Cup.
Well, I mean, the fact that you're all sitting there together pretty much says it all. Megan, a settlement reached after all of this time, after all this litigation. How did it happen? How do you feel about it this morning?
It was a long process, as all the people on this little TV screen know. You included. I feel like we've been here before with you. I mean, in the end, I think it came together. You know, for us as players, I'm just so proud of the way we stuck together and really just kind of put our foot down. This is a huge win for us. You know, as always, there's really no justice going backwards. The only justice really now is ensuring that this never happens again, and this lawsuit is a massive step forward. Obviously, we already settled the equal working conditions claims a while back, equal pay coming contingent on a new CBA, and the settling of the back pay damages. So for us, this is just a huge win in ensuring that you know, we not only right the wrongs of the past, but set the next generation up for something that we could only have dreamed of.
Yeah, talk